Just tried to do that other live, and apparently my old computer, my iMac, couldn't handle it. I tried changing the settings so that it could handle it, but it couldn't. It started overheating, and it kicked off, and now it's in the middle of rebooting. Look at this. Now it's rebooting. So I do it on my phone, just like I've always done with the Real McKenna. So today, I need to organize all these parts here. I'm gonna move you guys around a little bit. So this is all my Tesla inventory, kind of what's left of it. I've been slowly selling off a lot of my inventory so that way I can kind of move on from it, kind of moving past it. So that's what we're doing today. So I'm gonna I got a list going, and I'm waiting for the computer to boot back up so that way I can start putting it in my Excel spreadsheet. I was writing it all down, and I thought it was going to be kind of cool to talk about it on the live, because there's random parts over here that some of you that follow this channel for a long time would probably be interested in. Noob, what up? So, like for instance, this right here is a Tesla MCU board, and it's got kind of cool things like, hello again. Kind of cool things like, look at this. It's got a picture of a Model S up there. So this is the giant screen that's in the middle of a Tesla. This is what powers it. These are all the plugs that go on the back of it. It's even got an internal battery right here, which is kind of cool. Hello. Billy Bob had to tell me that my stream was lagging on the last one. I don't know. I guess that old computer just wasn't able to support it. I got to get on the sim racing computer to have it support a good live stream. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. So I got this one marked off with tape because I've already inventoried this whole section, and I got some other parts up here that I need to. These are just like random things that I ordered for people that never ended up doing it. So like this is a Cybertruck left-hand sail panel. So these are all things that I'm getting together, and there's a company that wants to buy everything that I have. So I got to get them a good list of all the parts together. And yeah, I thought you guys would kind of enjoy that, and I could explain it to you. Huh? What are you guys up to today? Billy Bob and Noob? Cheers to you guys. Love a man with a plan. My theory is if you failed to plan, you plan to fail. I don't know. I don't always plan. I'm not a big planner, to be honest with you. I'm just a wing it kind of guy. It's worked out for me thus far. Some things I do plan. Like we did a big Costa Rica trip, and I had that all planned out, but when I was in the military, they made us, before we could go on any foreign trip, you had to put a whole international travel plan together. And in that international travel, you had to know exactly where the embassy was, where the local police station, fire department, knew all the numbers for all these places, all the local cab companies. And so you had to go and do a bunch of research. And back in my day, our day, it wasn't that easy. You couldn't just go on Google. Some of that stuff existed, but you had to get out an actual map and look all that stuff up. Anyways, you do all this research and you put it together in this big folder, and you would go to these countries with this giant folder with the whole plan. And man, I loved doing that, because I was like, I know exactly where everything is in this foreign country, and I know exactly what I need to do. But that's not normally like that. I'm not normally like that. I just wing it. What you asking about my wife for, Griffin? She's working. Nurse called you, and my kiddo's school is not doing too good today, so I'm gonna stay home today. Well, that's cool. Nice. Hate love, what up? Come on now, Griffin. Why would I've never had to worry about putting people in timeout on this channel. Unbelievable. I thought we were all adults here. All right, let me turn this computer on real quick. I got to type my password in so you get a look at the golf cart. That's a Club Car Onward 2020 model. Come on, man. It might be time for a new garage computer. This thing's struggling with just the basics. Oh, you're not an adult? Billy Bob, what are you? It took him like a year to give me his live. Now he can't get rid of me. You're in St. Augustine? Okay, that's cool. You love me? You gotta be from the Real McKenna channel. It's so funny. My lives used to be completely different back when this was a different channel, Real Deal. That's cool. You moved out of Massachusetts in the spring for good? What do you mean basically a kid? I must have missed your other comment. About 32? Oh my God. What is up with this? I used to never even have people on my Real Deal lives. Now I got this spam in here. I'm not gonna hide you from the channel because you're just being silly, but I will put you in timeout. All right. This is a unique chat, and I cannot get the computer together. So, I don't know. I guess I'm gonna just write it down like I was doing. So, one of the things I got here, something silly, is these switches. Oh, missing a couple of them. So a lot of times what happens on a Tesla Model S, you're gonna get a little bit of, what we're doing today is a little bit of learning on Teslas. So what I got is this cover. I'm gonna try to see if I can find the actual switch for you guys. So it's somewhat informative. All right. So this is a normal window switch on a Model S and a Model X. And so what happens is people are always pressing this button. Boom, 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 boom. And so it wears it off. And so the paint wears off on this button. And so you can either replace the switch, which isn't terribly hard, or you can get these aluminum covers, which actually match the accents of the car quite well. I don't normally like this like chintzy accessory stuff, but I see this as like a good fix. They are just double stick tape and they go right on these buttons and it looks OEM. And so I really like it. So it's a good option to do. You can get them on Amazon. You don't have to buy them from me. You can get them from anybody. But it's a nice option to have. You just put those on there and it looks like new again. Well, Billy Bob, I'm going to teach you about cars. Should have bought a Mercedes. You know what's so freaking funny about what you're saying right now? Because Tesla's trash plastic. Should have bought a Mercedes. This is a Mercedes part. I don't know if you were just trolling me or what, but this is actually a stolen part from Mercedes that Tesla used. So if you're trolling, nice job. If you weren't, that's funny on you because this is a Mercedes part. They use this window switch and they use the stock just like out of a Mercedes. Ha! You didn't know that. I thought you were trolling me. I thought you knew that this was actually a Mercedes part. Yeah, look that up. Use a Google image on that. It's the exact part that Mercedes uses. You're just a trash talker. What's wrong with you, Griffin? You got nothing nice to say. We're gonna make you positive. We're gonna learn. Billy Bob's gonna learn about cars, and Griffin's gonna become a positive individual. Because when I'm older, I could drive, I would know about cars and how to save more money. That's right. Yeah, right? I don't know, did he say anything about electric? That's electric. That's pedal powered. That is gas, unfortunately. I'm waiting for it to fail though. I got a motor for it right here. This is a 48 volt motor, I think. So I plan on putting that in that gas motor if it ever fails, but I don't think it's ever gonna fail. And then what do we got over here? The Stark and Electro & Co. ETM. Oh, now I know why you're not happy, Griffin. Your dad never let you get a dirt bike. I think I figured it out. I'm figuring you out, man. You're a negative guy because you were never allowed any toys. But you can come over and ride ours. No, why is this computer not turning on? Okay, where were we? I want to get this box out. We're going to go over all these parts. Because I got to write them all down and get an inventory count of them. So this is just a box of random miscellaneous parts that I really need to get an account for. So that's what I'm going to get into. We'll go over these. I'm going to rotate you around a little bit. Griffin, my parents wouldn't let either. Then I bought my first crotch rocket. I had to ride it from my wife's and buddy's house for a week. Hide it. Do you have a disability scooter? Does that count? Yeah, that counts. It's electric. Somebody commented on one of my other videos. So I broke my foot about 2 years ago. I broke like 8 bones in my foot. And I was doing a video where I was working on a customer car and I was rolling around on my knee scooter. And somebody got on that video. And like I said, before I became a character in Real McKenna's stuff, I didn't have a lot of negative comments. People appreciate the Tesla content that I was putting out. But this guy said, you shouldn't be on that knee scooter. It's very juvenile and childish. I'm like, I needed it. I was disabled for a little while. I couldn't even walk on my foot. Your older brother has a black Model Y? Oh, there you go. That's cool. I got a lot of Model Y parts. Matter of fact, right here is this right here. Any guess what that is, Griffin? In case he may need it. I've never broken any bones. That's good. He needed it. Yeah, right. Oh my gosh, this freaking thing. Now look, it's booting up again. This computer is quite old though. That's why I moved it out to the garage. I got a new one in for inside, but oh, now it's really doing something bad. I've never even seen that screen. Your computer restarted because of problems. Press a key or wait. All right, we're gonna wait. Hopefully it boots up here. I had that same Mac in your storage unit back home. Where's back home? Oh, in Massachusetts. Why haven't you moved it down here yet? How do you survive without your stuff? I have epilepsy and I fell downstairs having a fit. I'm okay, just can't walk. That's why I had the mobility scooter, but that's that. At least I can ask you if you get stuck, W-Dad. Huh. Well, sorry about your fall. Okay. Let me start getting a good count on some of this stuff. So these are, I'm gonna grab my pen and paper real quick. This wasn't how I planned it to go. I was planning on putting it in the computer. I and on an Excel spreadsheet, so you guys could see all the part numbers. Because if there's, I'm gonna put this up and leave it up, and there's a lot of cross-reference part numbers that I had to go through and get a ton of work for. So for instance, like there's some axles that they work on a Model 3, but they don't work on a Model Y. And I have all the part numbers that you need, and it's taken me for years. I had to gather all this information so that way I could tell you which aftermarket one you could buy, which one you couldn't, and that's what I sold for years. Well, I don't need to be the gatekeeper of that information anymore. Anybody can have it now. So I was hoping to have that here, so that way somebody that was going to get into Tesla parts could just look at this information and pull it all out of there. These here are some seals. These are axle seals. So the part number on this one is 1065932. If you type that in, the only person that you're gonna find selling them is Real Deal EV. All right, 1 second. All right, so this is what I was doing yesterday, writing everything down. Let me see if I can catch up on the comments now. Yeah, a company out of California. Who is a company out of California? Play-Doh? What are we talking about here? Noob Nation, thank you. I need a new PC. Oh, you're talking about a computer stuff? That's cool. They even offer 0% financing. But can they go to the UK? Because Hate Love's over in the UK. I appreciate you always being on, Noob. This morning was pretty crazy. There's a lot of people on the live. Some people were trying to give me a hard time like they always do. But Skytech Gaming, that's cool. Yeah, well I got this computer, and like I said, it's old. It's running off. I got a solid state drive on the back of it. That's why it's out here in the garage. And then I got the new Mac Mini inside, and then I got the PC to run the racing simulator, and then a couple of laptops. But McKenna really wants a laptop this year, but we're not going to get it for her. We're going to allow her the option to purchase it with her YouTube money. So I've been wanting to do a video highlighting her YouTube money, her monetization that she's gotten, but they both think it's too personal of information, so I've been outvoted on making a video on that. So, but right now I got it invested. I'll tell you, I put some of it into ARKK, ARKK. It's an ETF that's managed, and I like it. I was invested in it a while ago and got out of it, but it's a pretty good investment company. All right, where were we? Okay, I need to get a count on these. So it's 10. These are dry output shaft seals, and they're good for all vehicles, including the Cybertruck. 1065932-00-A. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and another 6 in here. So 12. Seal and quantity 12. All right, we'll put these off to the side. So there's another seal just like these with a different part number for different axles, but that's these ones. Griffin, I personally know him. He's been out to our farms hunting with us. Who has? Christian McCaffrey's parents would take their phones away. I don't know who these people are. Oh, is Griffin one of your guys, noob? McKenna has her own money, and it's a lot for her age. Yes. Don't tell the people. I know. It's this whole weird thing. Like, I was never making the amount of money that she has, that she's making off of YouTube. It's really good. But I don't want her to be spoiled. And so I allow her 20% of the money that she makes to play with. And then she chooses the other 10%. We've disclosed this, so this isn't personal. And then she chose to give the other 10% to our church. And then everything else goes into savings. And then once it gets up to a certain amount, then I transfer it over into that investment account. I don't know that I'll keep everything in investments, but for the time being, I do. All right, so there's that. So now the next one is these paddle gears. So these, I had a company specifically make them for my company. And these are little paddle gears that go inside of the door handles on a Model S. So a Model S has presenting door handles, which means when you walk up to the car, the handles present out to you, and then you open the door handle. And what happens is a lot of times is they made them out of a really cheap pot metal. And so these little circles, these tangs will break off. And that's what'll happen to these. So let me catch up on the chat real quick. Oh, you don't know Griffin, but Christian McCaffrey was the MVP. Okay, well, see, I don't know anything about Super Bowl stuff, so I understand why you guys are talking about him now. He's the best when healthy. S&P 500, Warren Buffett strategy. Yeah, it's basically an S&P 500 investment, but it's a little bit more tech savvy, I guess you would say. What are your thoughts on smoking weed? I've been smoking off and on for 4 years. For years. I don't care. You can do it if you want. It's weird for me because I did 20 years of keeping it out of the United States, and now we're growing it here. So I personally don't do it, but not that I haven't tried that I've been out, but I just don't. I don't like it. I like my normal feeling. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6, 7. Ah. You like that? 7 of these. All right, what's the part number on that one? Sorry, I forgot to write down the part number. I got engaged in the chat. All right, so this one is 1042845-00-B. And so that's pretty typical of all Tesla part numbers. It's always, let's see, how many numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 numbers initially, and then dash, 00, dash, and then a number. A letter, B. So a lot of times they would change them from A to B to C, and there's really no changes that we have been able to tell on the aftermarket. Now, some things do get changed, but they would often just change the part number and not do any actual change to the part. Paddle gear. And this is my brand, so I'm going to put Real Deal paddle gear. All right, there's those. You're eating a cucumber? Dang. I eat a pickle right now. Will you consider it the same? I mean, it is. She's always eating cucumbers. Uh-oh. Get ready for it. Griffin's about to come clean. A refugee of X. I don't even know what that means. No, I'm not going to do that, Ryan. I don't know what you're going to do with that information. Plain says let's not. Dang, it is so weird. Like, I never used to have people like Ryan. Now Griffin, he's come around. And I'm kind of, at first you were talking smack. Now you're cool and engaging. But Ryan about to get put on timeout like a freaking child. All right, let's go with the next one. Maybe he'll just meander on. Now we got a Tesla Model S door speaker. Not much to it. Look at the size of the magnet on that bad boy. And this is the premium audio system. Not too impressive, but it does sound good. It's got, I think it's a paper cone. Maybe it's a Kevlar with a foam surround. Do we really trust Elon? Absolutely. All right, so this one, part number is 1004833-02-A. And it is a midwoofer. Only one of these left. Made in China. 160 millimeter woofer. 4 modders in the Briver stream yesterday. That's all right. You guys can talk about that. I don't care. I appreciate it, Noob, but you can still talk about it. It doesn't matter to me. All right, this next one, I got a lot of these. A company reached out to me that was the manufacturer of them. These are the door chargers, well, the charge port doors for a Tesla Model S and a Model X. So these sit right on the rear of the car. And when you press the button or you hit the eject button, this motor opens this door up to give you access to the butthole, as Tesla calls it, or the charge port. And so anyways, the company reached out to me and said, hey, we have a ton of these and we want to offload them. And they said, this is what you sell them for and this is what we want for them. And we want you to buy them all from us for that price. And I was like, I'm not buying them for that price, that's for sure. And so I offered them a really low price and they said, okay. And then I'm like, oh God, is this an actual scam? I'm about to send, I think it was like $5,000 to this company. And I wasn't even sure it was a real company. So I started doing a bunch of research on them and come to find out they were a legit company, but I didn't know if I was gonna get the parts until they actually showed up or not. And so here they are. So the part number on this one is 104 2766 96 H, and that's charge port door. And I have a lot of these. Let me get a good count on these. I would never trust a guy to do anything on my vehicle that can't get the camera right on the live stream. Dang. Getting a lot of hate today. What's wrong with this angle? Who's this guy? Tristan Thought. Tristan. What a weird name. That's hard to say. Tristan. What's wrong with the angle, bud? Hey, bro. I'm going to start watching your streams. Oh, thank you. You can tell the sky is a clown because he has an Apple monitor. Aha. So the sky is a clown because I have an Apple monitor, everybody. Thanks to Tristan. Oh, man. Sometimes I just don't get the internet. Let me get a count on these bad boys. It actually is a pretty crappy Apple monitor, to be honest with you, because it's not even booting up. Look at this. It's been stuck on this screen forever. But granted, this computer is about 15 years old, probably older than you are there, Tristan. Okay. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 3 ready to ship out. So what's 8 plus 3, Tristan? Yeah, Brad, she's at school. This isn't her channel either. Your daughter's hilarious. I had to unfollow her though. Too creepy following a young kid. Cool. I mean, I'm in every one of the lives, so that wasn't really my intent. It was supposed to be her channel. But I get it if people are there because of her and I. But yeah, it's the guys that come in and say, you know, oh, what are you doing? And leave inappropriate comments. That's the one that I'm like, why are you here? But no, I get it. I don't know. I don't even watch lives, to be honest with you. I do them every day, but I don't ever watch them. Those weirdos. I mean, Brad, you are asking where she is. Hey, thanks, Tort. I'm gonna pin that. I try to be a nice guy. But yeah, you get those people. Just because his daughter is cute doesn't excuse them from being weird. Yeah. I don't know how I feel about that, but anyways, we're doing Tesla stuff now. So let's shift over to this other realm that we're going right now. So let me get some of the next part. Keep you guys engaged with something else. All right, so this one is a wire harness for a door. Some of these things are just one-off that I don't even have listed on my website for sale. I just ordered them for experimentation purposes. And yeah, I just wanted to see if I could, I don't remember why I even ordered this. So this one is the whole harness for the door. I don't know if I was gonna try to cut apart it or what exactly, but part number for this one is 1882223-00-F. Oh, by the way, Tristan, I answered your question. It was 11 on the last one. It's a wire harness. And I only have one of those. Don't trust electric cars. Okay, sure. Really? Is that true, Christopher? Do I have to look up Brad Stevens from 1976? Were you asking if she had a boyfriend? Nah. Liar. Oh, I wish, right? That is crazy. Especially that you followed over to this channel. That's when things start to freak me out, if that's the case. Because obviously you're older than I am. Because it looks like your profile image is older. The name and then the year. You can put 2 and 2 together. I wish I could pull this up and I'd look at channel activity for her channel. Because I do that a lot. After the streams, I'll go through and look through the channel activity to see what, make sure everything's good. So anyways, I'm gonna write that one down. Brad Stevens, 1976. Got it. I was on the stream this morning with volleyball. I'm 14. Okay. I think, yeah, we don't normally like to disclose the ages. Yeah, I agree. But he's trying to solidify his story. Not the story, but you are saying bruh. That's a weird thing to say too. If you're a kid, if you're an adult. I don't know. We'll figure it out. For sure, the naughty list. Well, the investigation list. I don't know for sure that it's naughty yet, but we'll figure it out. That's what I gotta do. All right, these things are so silly. These go on a fender liner. Let me show you guys. All right, so this goes inside your wheel well, right? Tire goes around right here. This is the exhaust from the radiator. It blows it right in the fender well. And so over here, this is the right-hand side one. These little pieces of rubber sit here, and there's a sensor that sits right behind it. And these little pieces of rubber are not even held on by anything. They're just pushed on. And these rubber pieces, if you go through water or whatever, they just get thrown right off. So most of my cars, I never even had these pieces on there because they would get lost, and then to buy this piece was too expensive. So anyways, that's the fender well liner. I guess while I got this one out, I might as well make an inventory of that. This is 10368 89-00-E. And that's wheel liner. One of those. When I'm a dad, I hope I'm half as good as you are. I handle the creeps really well. Thanks. Santa's coming. Hope you're on the nice list. Dad life, that's right. I hope I have a boy before a girl. Watch out for her. Best of luck, right? Yeah, I really wanted a boy too. And then I got girls. Girls are the way to go. Oh, we're back in action. All right, don't look at my password. Look at that. Noob, there's a sweet Porsche. I don't even remember what that one's called, to be honest with you. All right, we don't need my email pulling up for you guys. It was 1488. Actually, it was Griffin R12G. Oh. Is Hate Love, is he wanting to leave because of the weirdos? I'll put him in timeout. I don't care. Hate Love's always been on. All right, this was the thing I wanted to pull up. This is the Microsoft Excel spreadsheet that I wanted to have out. All right, we got this. This one's been on the inventory count now. Do I need to research this one guy right now? Christopher? Nah, I'm afraid I don't want to pull up in her YouTube studio on a live. I'll do it another time. But I will go ahead and pull up the inventory that I wanted to do. There we go. Okay. There's the parts list. So everything in green I already have entered. You should put a list in the notes app about the people you should check. Who else do I need to check out? I already got Brad Stevens on there. Griffin, what are you talking about? How old were you when you had your first? What? I know. Thank you, Christopher. Kid. I thought inappropriate, just like probably Christopher did, but I don't know. It's a couple of years ago. I think it was like, I don't really remember. I guess I'd have to do the math. And then that is a little too personal, like Christopher said. I'm 41 now, so. Somebody asked if I was a parts guy. Yeah, that's kind of what we're going into right now. I have a business, Real Deal EV, selling Tesla parts, and I am selling off all the parts so that I can shift focus a little bit more onto YouTube stuff. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm getting a whole list of inventory together to provide a company that wants to outright buy it all. So that's what I'm working on. So now I can go ahead and just put everything right in Excel without writing it down. So this one is Model S sensors. So I'm going to type that out. I'm going to do, it is 105 0981 00 A. That is for a Model S. And that is sensor cover. Oh, now I need to. Usually what I was doing is what I have it listed at on the website, so that way I can give this company the correct price for all the parts to outright buy it all. But I don't know what I have them on the website for right now, so I'm gonna leave that blank. But I do need to put in the quantity, so I have 2 of those. There's 2. What else do I need? I think that's it. Let's move on to the next one. I'm gonna do 2 and then I'll come back and read the chat. So each one of these sensors is a little bit different. This one's a little deeper. And the part number on this one is almost the same, but it's a 0 instead of a 1. So we're going to Control C and Control V and just take the 1 to a 0. That's again for a Model S, and it's a sensor cover. Control C, Control V, and I have 2 of those as well. That one was easy. All right. Brad's 40. I think Brad is older than 40. Yeah, exactly. You're way more than just a subscriber. You're Billy Bob. That's right. Do you have a degree? You seem like an engineer. I do not have a degree. Well, I do have a degree in business administration, but nothing for engineer. But that's what I did for the 20 years I was in the Coast Guard. I was an engineer, working on things, fixing things. And I just like that type of stuff. There's never a problem that's kind of too big. I like to solve problems. I'm a problem solver, and I really like doing that type of stuff. Noob's older than me. Yep. Thanks for your service. Oh, thank you. See, Griffin, you started out negative, and now look at you. You've really come around. Thanks for hanging out. Your dad did 30 years in the Marine Corps? Marine Colonel? Maybe you put Marine Corps and it auto-corrected to that. Noob is 10 million years old. I'm gonna grab a little water. Now even Brad's coming around. Thank you for my service. Thank you. I thought you guys knew that. Okay, what's next? Oh, these things. I never did any videos with these. I wish I would have. So these are little brackets, little metal slides. Slides like this. It's got a little notch built into it so it locks it in place. But on a Model S and a Model X, the center console where you rest your arm, there's a cover that slides back and forth, and that's what holds that little cover in place. So I got 3 of those. They call it a track armrest. So the part number on that one is 1005374-00-D. And those are for an S and an X, and those are track armrest. And I have 3 of those. Noob. Really trying to one-up ya? You picked out a wrong time to do a Coast Guard. You could be taking out Venezuelan drug boats right now. I mean, we did do a lot of that. I don't know how I feel. I don't like to get political, but even from what I used to do, like I used to stop those boats and we had to use force sometimes. But I don't know how I feel about the level of force that's being used. It seems a little excessive. For instance, I had to go through a little story time. We'll break for a little story. We had to go through processes to be able to get to the levels of force. I don't know what they're using right now, but to drop a missile on a boat is always, it's deadly force. That's deadly force. So it's nothing and then deadly force. They don't even have an opportunity to stop if they wanted to. So we would have to go through steps. So first step was officer presence. They had to know that we were the Coast Guard. Like we had to have blue lights, we had to have a uniform, we had to have a boat, we had to have the name. So all those things had to be in place. So they had to know who we were so that a random boat wasn't trying to stop them. So it was officer presence level. That was a level of force. Then the next would be like telling the person to stop. Trying to maneuver our boat in front of their boat so that they'd stop. And so these are all like lower level uses of force working their way up. And so if that didn't work, we would shoot warning shots in front of the boat. Well, so no deadly forces to be used, just shooting warning shots in front of them. Then we had these rubber bullets that we would use to shoot the drivers. And then eventually it would get worked up all the way to, we would try to pull fuel lines to get the boat to stop, to eventually the last level of force was to shoot out the engine with a 12 gauge copper Sabo slug. And so we would go right next to it and we would shoot out the engine block and try to get the engines to stop. And then we would eventually get the people to stop, get on board, take them in handcuffs, arrest them. But what they're doing now is like basically me pulling up and not even saying anything and shooting them. That's seems a little excessive. But again, I don't want to get into politics. That's just my take on it. Oh, thank you. A little story time. Yeah, I got to do quite a few of those drug busts. They're designated terrorists now. I don't know about that. Maybe. I don't really get into all of it, but a lot of times all the people that were running the drugs back in my time are just a low-hanging fruit, an individual that has nothing, and the drug cartels get to them, and they say, hey, we will provide you money for the rest of your life if you run these drugs. And sometimes they make it, and sometimes they don't. And when we caught them and they didn't make it, it was sad, because a lot of times their families would be before they even got back. So it's crazy. So that's the people that are typically driving the boats. The ones that are running the drugs are just people that have nothing, and they literally just want to get some money. They just want to survive. And those are the people that are typically in those boats. Oh, thank you. It's nice to hear a reasonable take on this stuff. People like to assume all criminals are horrible people, but it's more complicated than that. Agree. Definitely agree. I mean, I've seen it personally. We arrest the people, but there's more to it than what meets the eye. Yeah, these people just, yeah, it's sad. A lot of those foreign countries, if you're from America, any states that have, it's not third world. Some of those third world countries, it is a whole different game. We used to pull into those, and we have so much to be grateful for in the United States or any place that isn't a third world country, because some of those other places you could die at any second. It's crazy. I don't even know what Brad is talking about. Is he trying to say a different word? Do I need to hide you? You are going to get put on. You're going to go from the investigation list to the naughty list soon. All right. Next here we got a seat sensor. This is a really common one that I wanted to do a video on because it happens so frequently. So this is really thin ribbon cable seat sensors. So what this is, it goes inside of a Model 3 seat, and it tells you when a person is in the seat. That's all it is. But it's so fine and so thin that you get some big boys in and out of your seat, and all of a sudden it breaks. So, anyways, this is one of those things that I was gonna do a video on because it happens very common. And you take it to Tesla, and I love Tesla for some things, but not for their service. So to replace, what you would do is, if you had a Tesla and your seat was constantly going off saying that there's a person in the seat or there's not, basically it'll just short out, and it'll say there is a person or there's not a person. It'll be the opposite of whatever that is. So you would take it to Tesla, and Tesla said, okay, yeah, there's a problem with your seat. What we're going to do is we're going to replace your seat. Oh, okay, well, how much is that going to cost? Well, a new seat is $2,500. That's their fix to everything, because it's a lot easier. It's more, maybe it makes them more money. I don't know exactly why they do it, but that's what they do. So you can get this sensor for I don't even know what I paid for them. Let's just say $50. You get this sensor for $50. Take the seat apart. It takes time, but if you have common sense, you can do it. And so you would just replace this part. That's it, not the whole seat. You end up saving yourself a ton of money. So the part number for that is 109 95 92 00-F. And so that, I think, is for a 3 and a Y. And that is a seat sensor. Oh, it says Model 3. Must not be for a Y. Some things work for a Y and some things don't. A lot of times Tesla's really good about the S and the X platform has a lot of carryover parts, and the 3 and the Y platform have a lot of carryover parts. It's only got one of those. All right, let's get that one put off to the side. I'll let you guys have a conversation amongst yourselves before I come back to the chat. All right, these next ones are little lights. These are puddle lights that go inside of the doors or in your footwell. Little LED lights. I got 3 of those, and the part number on those are 1774351-00-D as in Delta. I think these are for all cars. I'm not going to put anything in there right now until I figure that out. Rear map lamp. And I have 3 of those. All right, let me see. I'm going to come back to the chat and see what kind of chaos we have. All right. Why does your daughter have like 400 views? 2,500, that's a whole used car. I know, right? 40 views and you have 10? Yeah, I know. It's just, I don't do lives. It's weird. So I manage kind of 3 different YouTube channels. I take that back. I manage 2 channels, but I have another friend that has another channel. And all the channels are vastly different. Like my channel, I get a lot of views on my long format videos, mainly because they're tutorials and you got to kind of watch them all the way through on how to repair your Tesla. So I get really good views all the way through my long format videos, but my shorts and my lives do terrible. And then my daughter's channel, The Real McKenna, her long format videos do terribly. Nobody wants to watch any of her long format videos. Her shorts do okay, but her lives are awesome. It gets a ton of views on them. And then I have another friend of mine that's same age as McKenna. He started a channel and it started going pretty good. And his shorts did really well, but nothing else did really well. So it's kind of interesting to see all the different channels. I don't even know what you guys are talking about. Okay. All right, let's do these clips. These bad boys go right at the top of your window on your door for a Model S and a Model X. They hold the door panel on. One of the pieces that hold the door panel on. There's also a bunch of other clips and then a couple of actual bolts that hold the door panel on. So we got 2, 4, 6, 8 of these. Sounds kind of like jingle bells. 8 of those, and the part number on that bad boy is 1005783-00-B. And that is for an S and an X, and they are door clips. 8 of them. This is dad talk, that's right. I'm not a dad. No, Billy Bob's just here to learn about cars. That way when she gets her first car, she can know how to work on it. You'll really know if it's a Tesla. Oh, here's the other, I was talking about, you guys saw those axle seals earlier. Here's the other part number for them. I only got 2 left of these ones. Part number on them is 110857 -00-A. These are for all cars, so these are output seals. I just have 2 of those left. Yeah. Brad's starting to freak everybody out. All right, what else do we got here? A bunch of these window switches. We talked about those. All right, this one's a charge port door cover. This one's for a Model 3 and a Model Y. I agree with Noob. But it is hard, especially if she's young. You got no credit. It is best to buy a house, but sometimes it's almost impossible. And besides, you don't want to be tied down for the rest of your life. Renting is sometimes easy because you don't like the place you are, you just up and leave. You get tied down with a house and you kind of think that you're stuck. That was one of the nice things about being in the military is I had to move every 3 to 6 years. And so we bought houses kind of all over. And I tell you, every time, because the Coast Guard gives you a housing allowance, and you can either give that money to somebody else or you can put it as your own mortgage. So I was always saying, I'm going to use that money and pay my own mortgage. So we bought places at every single location. The only time I got screwed was I bought in Fort Lauderdale during the crash, 2008 crash, and ended up having to do a short sale on it, but then they came out with this Soldiers and Sailors Relief Act, and I was able to get covered under that. So I have credit somehow because I have a bank account. Yep. You remember the 2008 crash? Yeah. Yeah, it was a crazy time. All right, so this is for a 3 and a Y. And this is a door, charge port door. Cover. I just have one of those. We're not even close to the end of this box, guys. Here's a Pigtail Model S door front. $1069. Remember when 69 was the number everybody would say? Now we're at 67. All right, this is for a Model S, and it is a jumper harness. Just one of those. All right, what do we got here? I'm going to get kicked out of my house at 20. That's what my parents said, so I'm going to try to move out at 18. I think that's good. Oh yeah, this one. I think I remember this one. I don't believe this one's complete. I think I had to, oh, yep. So I had to order this whole harness just for this one plug. See that plug missing? So I couldn't get just the plug. So I had to order this entire harness, and it was still way cheaper than having the guy take it to Tesla and having them, because Tesla wanted to replace the entire harness, which is what you should do. But I said, you know what, we can try it. The wires that there was only 3 wires, and it was going to something like a coolant sensor or something like that. And so I said, we can just give it a whirl and see if it works. It's the only thing you can do. So sure enough, we did it. And yeah, it's so good. But technically, I could probably throw this one away because it's really not good to anybody else other than to use these plugs. But I don't know, maybe I just give it to the guy that's buying, or the company that's buying all the parts. All right, we got some more covers here. Hip to be square kind of guy. All right. Why did he say W? Plug. They try to act young, they do. Yeah. You're getting, the chat's taking care of you. That is kind of a weird thing. I mean, so you're an adult talking to this adult using terms like a W. I guess I said 6'7" though, so I'm just as guilty. I don't know. We'll let the chat navigate itself. All right, we got another one of these covers. 105 1652-00-A. So that's kind of the crappy part. Each one of these covers, there's like 4 different covers for these little rubber boots that I was talking about earlier. There's like 4 different ones. You got one for each side, and then different versions of the car had different sensors. So it kind of sucks that I had to carry each one of them. If it was just like one, it would be a lot nicer. Look at that, 9 likes, been live for 68 minutes. That's crazy. How many? We were live for 28 minutes this morning and on hers, and it was 300 likes. I don't know. I keep going back and forth. Do I do more lives on this channel, even though they don't do that well? Because I'd like to do more sim racing, but I look at some of the other sim racers' view counts, and they're so low that I don't know if I want to tell the YouTube algorithm that only 4 people watch these lives, although it's telling it that right now. So would you guys be interested in that, watching the racing? Because I know personally, I've never watched somebody else do a race, so I'm wondering who else does. I know Noob and Billy Bob, all you guys have been on there for that, but I think you're just showing some love. All right, another sensor. Oh, this is actually the same one. I need to update my count. So from 2 to 3, and I'm gonna put this in the kit that it goes with. So we got 3 of these instead of 2. That's what it looks like. All right, what are we at? 11:51, dang. All right, everybody. I think I'm gonna take off. I'm gonna get some lunch. I appreciate you guys all being on and chatting with each other. And oh, I see your comment, Noob. Two dads dual stream someday. I like that. For sure. But all right, I'll see you guys. Thanks for joining on, and I hope you have a good day. See ya.